Hello, I'm Rixie, and welcome to Collector's Maze. Today I'm joined by Doug Stone. Doug is a writer, an actor, a voice actor with over 400 credits. You can hear his voice in video games like Metal Gear Solid, Street Fighter, in the animated series Naruto, and as the voice of Matt Tracker in the 80s animated hit M.A.S.K, as well as a massive list of other places. So welcome, Doug. Thanks for taking the time to sit down and talk with me. I'm excited to hear what you have going on.
My pleasure, and thank goodness we're not sitting here both worried about COVID, so we don't have to do a Matt Tracker and put mask on.
Oh, I love that you did that. I love that. I love that. So gosh, over 400 credits, and you mentioned we were talking earlier. I mean, there's probably more than that. That's just what IMDb's covering. I mean,
Anymore. The IMDb and understandably and Wikipedia can only credit you when they see your name in the credits.
yeah.
But I've done probably 1,100 sessions for TV shows and films with what's called looping work, where we provide voices for the TV shows and
Ah,
films.
okay.
My own group, you may have heard of the TV shows in the 90s, Hercules, The Legendary Journeys, and Xena Warrior Princess.
Yes, yes.
My group of actors provided all the voices for every monster, every villager, everybody other than the stars was us.
No
And my
way.
group, Synchronicity Looping, did that. So that's 240 shows right there. So there's all kinds of credits that don't make it to the IMDb for radio commercials, TV shows, films, and some games and anime too that don't make it on there.
Okay, so is that a loop group? Is that what that's called?
Yeah.
I spoke with Stephanie Sutherland the other night. She's the voice of Jean from Genshin Impact and Madame Blueberry from VeggieTales, and we got into discussion, and she explained that term to me. So that's very cool. So loop groups and Xena. And Hercules, man, yeah, that's a throwback. I remember those for sure. So talking about characters, I mean, 40 years, all those titles. I mean, I bet you have a few favorites. I mean, what were those ones that you really, just loved digging into and doing? I mean, who were
Well,
those?
there's a film I did that it's not super well known called The House of Magic. Sometimes
Okay.
it's Thunder and the House of Magic. It goes by two different titles. It had a very short cinematic release in the States. It played more in theaters in Europe, animated film. But I had one of the leads in it, and I loved
Oh,
the character so much. And it wasn't a big smash hit. They made money on it, so they were very happy. But I played a magician, an elderly, a Bostonian magician who lived in a house of magic with all his inventions, and they were wonderful. And he only had a slightly Bostonian accent, not real strong, but slightly Bostonian. And he had all these inventions. And what happens, as we're going to segue to, somebody abandons a cat, a little kid,
oh,
when they move. It wanders into my house. Adventures ensue. The inventions don't want it there because they don't want another mouth to feed or somebody else. They know what I'm like. But as soon as I see it, I go, little kid that's lost, we have to adopt it. And
how good
so
is that?
it's all the adventures we have. And of course, giving away the ending slightly, with all the misadventures that I get into, and my character does charitable magic shows at children's hospitals. He's like the sweetest character I've ever voiced. I love this man. And he gets in all this trouble with bad guys. And who saves the day? You can guess, the kitty cat. So
Oh,
it's a great movie. It's like an hour and a half or so. Sometimes you can find it on YouTube, or if not, you can maybe it's on Netflix. Sometimes I don't know, but House of Magic or Thunder in the House
house.
of Magic. So I love him because he's so sweet.
So sweet. Okay, so that's House of Magic, and what was the character's name again?
My character's name is Lawrence.
Lawrence. Okay, House of
Lawrence the
Magic,
Magician.
Lawrence. Or you said Thunder in the house?
Thunder, which is the name of the kitty. I
Okay.
name it
Oh.
Thunder. I name it Thunder. As I'm holding it, going, what shall we call you? There happens to be a storm and or a crack, and I go, it's over. That's what we'll call you. We'll call you Thunder.
Oh, how good is that?
Whatever.
So magic and cats. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. And that is a
Very
perfect
cool.
segue because, as I was looking over your IMDb page, and of course, as soon as I saw Matt Tracker, I was just like, the 11-year-old in me was just like, totally fanboying out. As much is that that is cool to me. I think learning about your passion for our feline friends, I mean, that has me really excited. So I want to shift and dig into that and hear about you know your love for cats, what where that started and how that started, and then we'll get to hear about something really cool that you're a part of. So how did that love for cats start?
Well, I was like a lot of guys. I was a dog person primarily
Mm-hmm.
as a kid, and
Same.
cats, fine, they were just there. But I always just thought of them as in the background. I never spent really time focused on them, so I didn't understand the magic of felines for quite a while. And even in my married days, we had a cat around the house, but it was for my stepson to play with. I just, hi, cat, and just walked away. It wasn't until I moved to Los Angeles and I did a little bit of volunteer work with my ex, who was a nurse, and I was bottle feeding babies that
Oh,
the mama had been through a fire and she saved her babies, but she couldn't lactate and create milk because of the trauma. So we were at the shelter to help give the baby's life. So suddenly I'm holding something this big and
oh
I'm
wow.
eyedropper giving it milk. And it's like the hair on my neck stood up because I went, I'm giving this creature life. I mean, obviously women can give birth to a creature. We men can never do it. And I've just got a kitty who wants up on my lap right now.
Oh, look at
Uh,
that guy.
yeah, that's Minnow Minu, my girl kitty. One of my girl kitties. I have two girls here.
Oh, she's
One
beautiful.
who's 19 plus, and she's 4 years old and likes to sit in her daddy's lap. Anyway, that got me thinking about it. And then I met a kitten while I was living here in LA in '86, maybe a year after, maybe while I was still doing M.A.S.K. It was very soon after I'd moved here. There was a kitten out in front of my apartment, which was on ground floor. I thought belonged to the neighbor, found out it didn't. I started to feed it and give it one. And of course, it wanted to come in. And I thought, oh, do I want a kitten? Well, I let it in and it won me over. I'd never had a buddy cat before. But suddenly I'm not married. I don't have my stepson there, just me and this little kitten. And it's going, hey, want to hang out? I'm going to follow you everywhere. Oh, you want to watch sports on TV? I'll just flop on the couch next to you with my belly and you can rest your hand on my belly and watch your hockey game, Mr. Ex-Canadian, and I'll just hang with you. Oh, where are we going now? Oh, that's not. And I said, well, this cat's like a pal.
Hmm.
He's like a little buddy. I didn't realize what and how attached they can get. That when you open the door, like these cats that I have currently, that they'll run to the door to go, "Hi, you're home. How you doing?" So that was really the beginning of it, and I have not been without at least one up to four cats since that time.
Oh wow.
Of course, we outlived them, but I've adopted abandoned ones. I've adopted from the shelter. My special need. I had a special needs kitty who passed last
Oh,
year.
I'm so
I came to
sorry.
Lagos. Beautiful little boy.
Wow.
He had cerebellar hypoplasia, which is wobbly cat, is the common term. It's a
Oh.
neurological disorder where they can't keep their balance.
Oh wow, that sounds horrible.
Everything about them is normal, but they have trouble with their balance. But what he needed was just a home. I live in one floor, no stairs, no kids running around, and nobody underfoot. So this was a perfect experience, a perfect place. I'm going to lower this so you can see my little.
Oh yes, I want to see her. And what was her name again?
This is Minnow Minu. And the
Minnow
reason
Manu. Hello, Minnow.
Minu, I told a French friend, actress, a director, I said, oh, I've just got a new kitten and she's gray and darts around. So I'm calling her Minnow. And Valerie went, Minu? How did you know that in France we call our cat? It is nickname for them is Minu. I went, I didn't know that, but I love that. I explained that a minnow was a tiny little fish. She didn't know. I said, but that's going to be Minnow's middle name. Minnow Minu.
Minnow Manu. I love that.
She's,
Minnow Manu
she has
Stone.
she has a French middle name. Very exotic.
I love that you have the voice for your cat. That is so cool. I love that. So you have
Yeah.
you have four cats then, right? Currently?
I now have two.
Two.
I,
Okay.
at different times I've been up to four when I had a house. Now I'm in a. I've really, as I get older, I've gotten
Oh yeah. I get
I
it.
don't want to take care of a big house. So I had three until Rocky passed. So I
Mm.
have Minnow, who's 4 years old, and Queen Mimi. Oh, careful. She panicked and ran. Queen Mimi, who's over 19. She's an elderly lady. She's been with me since 2004.
Oh,
Um,
Queen
and
Mimi and
is
Minnow.
arthritic and older, but she can still get around and still enjoys life and sunbeams.
Wow.
Uh, and we'll see. I may end up getting a third, but I'm still kind of recovering. Rocky, as it turned out,
Mm, yeah.
had a lot of underlying illnesses that I
Yeah.
didn't expect. So it was not expected at all that he would pass
Oh
at
man.
three years and a bit. But he was inoperable. He had heart issues. He had so many things
Mm.
wrong. So I still haven't quite gotten past it. But the next cat will be a special needs cat, I'm sure. I'm determined to. I'll get a three-legged cat or a one-eyed or a cat that's
Wow.
having trouble getting adopted is the plan for the next one.
I love your heart. I mean, that it takes a special person because you know the struggles, and I mean you get attached to those guys, and you know the ones with special needs. It's just going to be that much harder, and uh, to 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 put yourself, out there, your heart out there like that, because it's hard,
It is.
and
It's so rewarding.
uh, we are also a cat family. I was always a dog person until I met my wife. My wife is like every animal there is. I mean, she's loving every animal except for spiders. Spiders, I don't know that spiders count, but
Insect family. I think we
yeah,
can.
yeah. I mean, I actually kind of like spiders, but anyway, my exposure to cats was through her, and I don't know how I had lived without them. I mean, I love our cats. We've had several over the years. We have one right now. Her name's Casey. I live in Kansas City, so Casey is a perfect name. We love our cats. We love our dogs too. We've got a small cocker spaniel and then a small shepherd, and those two are just, yeah, amazing, amazing. So cats. That your love for cats has taken you someplace cool, and I understand. So you're on the board with Kitty Bungalow. Is that right?
Correct. I started 11 and a half years ago volunteering there because I'm a little arthritic. I would have volunteered at a shelter that was dogs and cats because I like dogs too, but I just can't deal with heavy dogs and big animals. So through the late actor, I don't know if you've ever heard of him, Fred Willard, wonderful comedic actor.
Yeah.
He's now passed, but he was doing a fundraiser. I was going, where can I find a no-kill cat-only shelter? And I was having trouble finding one, and I got this email saying Fred Willard's doing a fundraiser for a show called Cat Beret to help Kitty Bungalow Charm School for Wayward Cats. And I went, if Fred Willard's doing it, man, I got to check this out. So I went there. It was a little backyard operation, just no staff, one lady in her house, her bathroom, her living room, and this old trailer in the backyard. That was Kitty Bungalow. So we'd have a few, maybe 5 or 6 cats at once. I got real involved, and because I'm pretty organized and I've been in business voiceover for myself, producing,
Mhm.
directing, whatever, I was able to help her on the organizational side. Anyway, through all of us working together, we grew it to the point where we now operate. We have our own house that's been converted into a shelter, 7 to 9 employees, some part-time, some full-time. The original lady is not with us anymore. She's gone, but we have new executive directors and people running the shelter for us. And when she left, I thought maybe it's time for me to join the board to make sure that everything stays stable once the founder's leaving. So I joined the board a little over 4 years ago. I'd already been doing fundraising and lots of other things, but this sort of made it official. So now, like
Great.
tonight, in about an hour and a half, I'll be having a 3-hour board meeting with the other board members, and so we deal with all the finances of Kitty Bungalow and the hiring, and along with the executive director who runs the staff, we kind of oversee the running of the at least the not the day-to-day stuff, that's
Mhm.
up to staff, but the overall funding and grants and everything that's required. We have to okay all the expenses, for replacing windows, and getting a respirator for
Yeah.
this cat. And can we afford that? And health care for that cat that's sick, and
Oh wow.
etc. So there's a lot to it.
That is so cool. So Kitty Bungalow, I got on their site and I looked around a little, but tell me, I mean, some of the things I saw they were doing. I mean, that's just awesome that they're doing from cats. But share
Yeah.
what it is that they're out doing for our feline friends.
Well, the primary function is that we're a no-kill shelter, and that we want to. But we know that there is, of course, there are millions of cats all over the U.S., but particularly in the warm climate of L.A., where kitten season is when the cats have babies. In cold places, that may be 7 months of the year. Here, it's like 10 to 11 months of the year. So we have millions. So how do we control the population without euthanizing a healthy cat? Well, we do trap, neuter, return. So we go
Oh,
out and we work with people who are feeding colonies of cats, and we help them with the food too. And we'll go out and trap the cats that don't already have an clipped ear. We'll trap them. We bring them in, we get them a health check, and then we get them neutered or fixed, spayed.
oh,
They can't keep
okay,
having babies.
yeah.
If they're little teeny kittens, or sometimes people dump cats, and you find in a colony,
Mm.
you'll find an older cat that's really social. And you realize, oh, he's had a home before, he can be adopted. So they become Kitty Bungalow students. So do kittens, of course, because kittens are easy. They hiss the first week, and then
Mhm.
you pet them enough and give them toys and food. They go, okay, I like you. So all the adoptable ones, be they adult or kittens, can become Kitty Bungalow students and
That's
eventually
cool.
graduates, which means adopted. Uh, then we have a working cat program. So if we get cats that are kind of in between, like
Okay.
they'll let you feed them, but they only want to be outside. They don't want to be petted.
Yeah,
They're,
yeah.
they're kind of that in between. We have a working cat program, so they don't have to go back to the colony. Let's say you have a brewery and you have a rodent problem. You don't need to put out poison. You can hire one of our cats for the price of a cat
Oh, that is
litter
cool.
box, and the working cat program. Wait until they're acclimatized to your area before you let them run free, so they hang out there,
Hmm.
and then just feed them, take care of them. They'll make that their new home, and they're now taking care of your mouse and rat problem. And for those that worry about the lives of the mice and the rats, once they smell cat feces, they go, when's the next bus out
Yeah,
of
time to go.
I'm
Checking out of
going
here.
someplace else? Excuse moi. And they zoom. But you keep the cats around, they don't come back. So very few mice and rats actually get killed. Just the presence of the cats does that.
That is
And the
great.
third thing is, well, there's more than three actually, but the third thing for them is that if they are in fact totally feral, they're little fucking Joe Pesci's, and they have to go back to the street because they can't live in a house or even in a working cat situation because they'll rip your face off. They're not your clowns, okay? Then they go back to their colony. No worries, because we're working with the colony people to keep them fed and cared for. They've had a vet check. The colony person keeps feeding them, whatever, but they don't keep having babies. We also do rescues from kill shelters. It's part of how we get our grant money. Is overstaffed kill shelters. Often, this is going to be a sad story, but often they get babies that
Mm.
don't even have a mama, so they get
Oh,
no natural milk. They've all got to be bottle fed. They don't have the staff for that. So they go on what's called
mm.
end of day lists, which mean if something
Ah,
doesn't happen by the end of that day, they're gone. We lift those cats as often as we can, at risk cats, from those shelters, and they're happy to have us do it. And we get some grant money for doing it. We take them to Kitty Bungalow, or we foster them out to families, and we get the babies fed until they're old enough to eat on their own. Then they can become students and be adopted. Or if a sick kitty and we
wow.
can help it, we don't turn a cat away if it has one eye, three legs, whatever. We try to help every cat that stands a chance. The only time we euthanize is if we've tried everything and the cat's going to suffer,
Mm,
which
mm.
is what I'd want to have happen to me.
Yeah,
If
yeah, exactly.
curable and I'm suffering, then okay, please gently put me out of my misery, which is what is done. But it's very few cats are euthanized under our care. We're just out to save as many as we can. We can't take, and I do want to make this clear to people who have found cats in the street, we can't take all the cats you found in. We can't do it. We're not a huge billion-acre conglomerate, and we have to get our grant money from somewhere. But on our site, we do offer advice as to
That's
people
what I was going to
who found
say.
cats and kittens, which has a list of resources that you can go to. We want to be supportive of everybody, but we can't take in the cats that people find, unfortunately. We can only do it taking cats that we've trapped
Yeah.
with because that's what all our grant money comes from the best friends and other organizations that we work with that see the kind of work we're doing. We've been doing trap, neuter, return even when it wasn't legal in the city of LA for a bunch of reasons for them to even talk about it. They weren't allowed to discuss it.
Oh,
We just kept doing it. That ordinance has now been lifted and they're allowed to talk about it. And they're actually coming to us saying, you guys have been doing it for years. Tell us how it's done. So we're consulting with other places to inform them on how to do the trap, neuter, return.
that is great. I mean, I love what you guys are doing at Kitty Bungalow. I mean, that's yeah. What a way to not only it's kind of, I mean, it's giving back to the community in ways, but giving back to the cats. I mean, and wow, that's great. So
Well,
I mean, you talked about the economics of it. I mean, people not able to bring their own, and I love that you offer some advice and information for them. I mean, because sometimes people just need to be empowered, right? I mean, because
absolutely. And bless their hearts, if they found a cat or a kitten and they want to help it, oh my God, that's then our hearts are right in tune.
yeah,
Absolutely. So if we can be supportive as best we can, understanding that our staff kills themselves, we can't pay them $1 million. They
yeah,
they they work so hard because they love animals. They're all animal advocates. So we just can't do more than we can do. But the site has been designed to empower those people by saying, here's places you can take them. Here's a place that if you find a cat, will do a vet check for a lesser price, or where you can get it
nice.
fixed. Or here's how to post if you're trying to get one adopted. Here's what we recommend you do
That's
in your
great.
neighborhood to help you if you've never done it before, as to how to maybe find a home. So yeah, we do our best.
That's great. That's great, Doug. So I understand that, while we're on the topic of economics, that you and some friends are doing something that, and I understand you do it regular, that's coming up that has a big impact on the economics of helping the cats. Why don't you tell us
Yeah.
about that?
We do fundraisers throughout the year, of course. During COVID, when we couldn't do live events, I was doing a comedy fundraiser because actually, in my history, I started off in theater and did a lot of comedy and did
Oh,
comedy in LA. So I know people in that community. So during that, we did, but now we're back to live events. But the one event that I still do that's online is with voiceover actors because, excuse me, I've been in that community in LA for almost 40 years, got here at 85. About 70 actors a year will donate items for an online auction. This year, I've gathered over 220 items. When I say items, I mean signed autographed prints, posters, voiceover messages from your, like Matt Tracker will do a voiceover message for you if you're the high bidder. And I've done them in years past. Some people get them for their birthday presents. Some people say, do one for my outgoing message. So, you've reached Ginny. This is Matt Tracker. Mask on, message on. Whatever you
I
want me
love
to,
that.
to
I
say.
love that.
So I'll say anything 15 to 20 seconds that's reasonable and not objectionable. Same with all the actors, but some of us are doing voiceover messages. Some are selling prints, posters, voiceover classes online, all kinds of
Oh, okay. That
all
interests
these
me.
people. Yeah, a lady named Valeria Zunzun, the one who thought minnow meant menu, is a voiceover director here in town, and she's offering voiceover classes online for
Okay.
beginners because she knows
Okay.
that it's going to be fans that are bidding. And she's done a lot of directing of anime and live action dubbing.
Oh, yes.
So
Yes.
she'll do a free one-on-one class, which is pretty invaluable. You're not with 20 other people.
Nice.
Got all kinds of things from well-known actors. I'm just looking at the list. Derryberry. Hi, Kitty. Wants back up on my lap again. Barbara Goodson. Oh my goodness. Who have we got on this list? Dorothy Fawn, Edward Bosco, Frank Todaro, Jameson Price. Uh, we have something from the late Jan Rapson who's passed, but we still have one of his items. Jason Charles Miller, Carrie Walgren, big supporter of Kitty Bungalow. She's just been wonderful. Kira Buckland, Lex Lang, Big,
Lex, I'm familiar with Von Reg from Star Wars, Major Von
yes,
Reg.
that's one of the items that we have as a print. Steve Bloom, I still have some items. Skip Stelrecht, from, I can't pronounce her name, lady who played Ash Ketchum in Pokemon.
That's what I was gonna say. I saw some Pokemon out there as well. So
Arenado Cheney and some other stuff. Sandy Fox, Richard Epcar, just giving you some of the names. Rachel Robinson, Patrick
nice,
Sykes.
nice. I mean, there's a huge list, right?
Yeah, it just
Huge
goes on
list.
and on.
So when does the auction start?
The auction will start October 16th to October 30th. We're
Okay.
still loading all the items. I've now cut off the acquiring of items. We have 221 of them. And my somebody at Kitty Bungalow who is more familiar with how to set up auction sites
Mm-hmm.
is putting it all together. So it will launch on Galabid. But people can look at this list on Kitty if they go to Kitty Bungalow charmschool.com.
Mm-hmm.
They'll and go to the events. They'll see the Make Their Voices Heard auction, and they can look at the list to get some idea of some of the shows that will be involved. And then on October 16th, as I say, the gala bid will go live, and that's when they can start their bidding. And it's highest bidder wins. But in some cases, some of the actors have given us 4 prints, so it may be that somebody's bid on 3 of the prints, and you're going, oh, it's getting expensive. Ooh, nobody's bid on the 4th one yet. I'll get
nice.
in.
Oh, nice.
I'll get
Okay.
in on
Okay.
that one. So it's all going to differ and as to what's popular and what goes up. So we've got sort of standard numbers for the opening bids that you would pay at a convention if you were getting them from an actor. But these ones, some mention cats. Sometimes they've done help the kitties. Thanks for this and that. Some are just stuff from the show, quotes from the show, et cetera, et cetera. But everything is autographed by all the physical items are autographed by the performers.
Nice. So that's Kitty Bungalow, and I can't remember if that was .com or .org. I will put it. I will add it on. kittybungalow.org, and I think /auctions will get you to the auctions page, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, exactly. If you backslash it as VO auction.
Okay. VO auctions. Okay. And I'll go ahead and add that into the video so folks, when they watch this, will see it on the video. As well as a really cool meme that you shared with us. I'll get that on there. So the gala bid, will that be linked off? So if we go to the Kitty Bungalow VO auction site, the gala bid will be linked right there when that goes live.
Once it goes live, if you're on the Kitty Bungalow site, you'll be able to press on where it now says auction begins October 16th. I think that tab will go live, and that tab will then take you right to the gala bid site.
Perfect, because I know a couple things that I already want to bid on for certain. So so I have a question. I'm a cosplayer, right? I love cosplay. As you can see, my little, where's he at? Right there. This guy over here. That's one of my cosplays. But I gotta ask, do you have Matt Tracker's Spectrum in the auction?
I don't have Spectrum in the auction. The only Matt Tracker stuff I have in the auction are prints of either Matt himself or the 8 characters that I did in the M.A.S.K series.
Okay. Okay. Well, I ask because I happen to have.
That's where my helmet went.
I think I found it in the back of a car, oddly enough.
I bet I know which car. I parked it and I wandered off.
And that is great. That is great.
I haven't been able to fight crime without it, so thank goodness.
So this is an EVA foam Matt Tracker helmet that I constructed especially for Kitty Bungalow. I want to send it to you. I know you can't get it in this year, but you can have it for next year's auction. You should be able. I'll even put a spot in there where you can sign it on the inside. But I would love, like I told you earlier, I love cosplaying for a charity. I love to be able to take something that I'm passionate about and align it with the purpose for life, which is just to pour love out in the world. And that's what this is. So this is a, custom built, and I use the those cosplayers out there who do builds. I use the Evil Ted his pattern for a basic helmet, and then I had to modify it to be Matt Tracker's Spectrum. So I'm going to send that to you here when we get offline. You'll give me an address, and I'll get that shipped out to you. And
Great.
also with that, I'm going to include for you for next year. So this is my what I call a sound glove, and anyone who cosplays knows sound. The costumes is great, but when you have the sound go with it, it's even better. So right, so this sound glove, it's got little buttons on it that you push, and Doug and I are going to work, and we're going to preload some Matt Tracker phrases on there. I can already hear, Spectrum on, you know,
Absolutely. Yeah.
or a few others. So I'm going to throw that in with that kit too for next year. So
Excellent.
I would love some great, cosplayer who loves cats to get a hold of that. So
Yeah.
anyway, so auction's coming up. Remind me the date one more time.
October 16th to October 30th.
October 16th to the October 30th. Lots of great uh, items up for bid, pictures, voiceover opportunities. So, man, if you want that cool, Matt Tracker, or you voiced several characters on Mask, right? I mean, you had, was it Hondo? Who else did you have on there?
If I can remember the names, I ended up with 8.
Yeah.
Uh, so Matt, Hondo, Dusty, Bruce Sato were the 4
Okay.
good guys. Miles Mayhem's brother, who I think was Max.
Okay.
No, who were there's 3 others. Nash Gori,
Wow.
a Russian guy, and I lost his name, and another big guy. If I didn't have a kitten on my lap, I
No,
would go
not
get
necessarily. No, the cat. The
photo.
cat is definitely more important. Definitely more
Yeah,
important.
yeah.
I mean, that's
Um,
the.
but he was a big. I just remember he was a big mean guy. He might have had a mohawk, and then, as I
Okay.
said, Russian guy. So
Well,
it ended up being 4 bad guys and 4 good. Though the Max Mayhem guy only appeared, and the Russian appeared in less episodes than the other characters. 6 kind of went all the way through.
nice, nice. Well, I'm just pumped to talk to you about this tonight. I'm excited for that auction to go live. I want to encourage everyone to get out there and check that auction out when it goes live on October 16th. There's a lot of cool items, and then next year look for the Matt Tractor Spectrum to be coming up. So I'm excited for that.
That's
All right.
great.
So, Doug, man, you're an amazing human being. Thank you for doing what you're doing for these cats. Because if we don't do it, right? I mean, who else will? So, thank you for doing it.
I appreciate it. And I feel the same as you. Taking something, I feel very fortunate that I've had this career. I've been working since I was 16, supporting
Oh,
myself.
wow.
Did other things. I left school at 16 and became self-supportive. So I did other things before I got into this business full time, lots of other jobs. And I love this one. So being able to use something to finally find something I loved doing, and as you say, turn it into something where I can also do good at
Hmm.
the same time,
Absolutely.
help the world at the same, or kitties or human beings or whatever
Yeah.
at the same time, then it's like a double blessing. So yeah, I'm with you. Why not turn it into something even more positive than just keeping it to yourself? You got to put it out there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, man, you have a great night. Thank you for spending this time and sharing with me about Kitty Bungalow and the cats. And I know we'll be talking soon.
Yes,
Thanks a lot,
indeed.
Doug. Have a great night.
Thanks.